got you one. This 1968 F100.
You're gonna take a truck that's already restored, already looks good, kind of make it better.
That's it. Y'all ready to make some grandpas mad?
Let's do it.
This 1975 Bronco has a classic design.
It's been through 2 ex-wives and still got to keep hold on it.
Oh yeah. This makeshift roof ain't gonna cut it.
Man, that's the downfall of custom. It has never stopped.
Always something to do.
Always.
Oh my God, Bill.
Is that low enough or what?
Dude.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Busier and busier. We got a lot of cars in here and we need more room to bring in more cars. That's exactly what we're doing. Need more room? We're gonna make more room. You know, started out doing a little trade job here and there, got a little more concrete, built an awning, ended up enclosing it, and now we're about 22,000 square feet. That's not enough. So we're putting down some new concrete in front of the interior shop. Eventually we'll cover this thing up and fill it full of lifts. Thank God I got customers like Marcos, got a huge concrete company. We're doing a little work for him, doing a little work for us, do a little trade, a little barter deal. Here we are expanding. It's one of those win-win deals. We get to expand and we get to work on Marcos's next project.
That thing is bad.
From the first project Marcos brought in, years and years ago until the latest.
Golly. I don't even know what to say, brother.
This guy is not only a good customer, but he became a really good friend of mine. And, what better to work on, the latest and greatest project for a good friend of yours. What's up, man?
What's up, Bill?
You finally got you one.
I told you I was going to get one.
Marco's been talking about old Ford for quite some time. It looks like he finally found the perfect one for him. This 1968 was the 4th generation of this F100. Older ones had a more rounded hood, but as you can see, trucks is as good a shape as this.
It looks all right, but not good enough for me.
It's perfect, but it's not perfect for you.
Exactly. Everyone that can have a classic truck, but not a classic custom, because a lot of people, they don't like to, cut into a nice classic looking truck like that. It's going to be an easy project for you.
Oh, here we go. Let me guess, under the hood, there's not enough power.
Nope.
Not low enough.
Nope.
Don't have the right wheels and tires.
Nope.
How'd I know this already?
You already know him. It's just too classic.
Because we built Marcos a project about, once a year, I already know what this thing's going to look like before he even talks about it. I think 24 by 8s on the front, 24 by 15s on the back. Get this thing really low down to the
really low on the ground.
See what you got on the hood of this thing. Marcos, you got you a V8 underneath here already.
It's a V8.
Back in 1968 when this thing was new, it was probably plenty of power.
Back then.
Now, no, this ain't gonna cut, especially for you.
Yeah.
Man, I think the best thing to do is just rip all this out. Instead of trying to upgrade this to give you more power, let's just rip this thing out, put a late model Coyote in this thing,
right,
and then we'll put a supercharger on top of that also.
I like that. I like
so
that.
You got, not only enough power.
Well, I like that.
Well, let's see what you got in the interior.
All right. What do you think?
It's a good looking truck, man. It's solid.
It's clean, but I still want you to make them different.
Just wake it up a little bit. Still keep that classic look and just add a couple little custom touches.
Right.
New gauges in this thing.
Right.
Man, I love the two colors. I love the green and the brown. They look really good together. Get rid of the white on the door panel. Make a custom door panel.
Right.
Brown leather to really make it have that custom look.
And don't forget about my AC.
Oh, no.
I need AC on this thing.
I know you got to ride cool in this thing for sure.
So what do you think on the bed?
To get the stance right on this thing with such a big wheel and tire combo, it's going to be low to the ground. So in order to do that, we're going to have to remake the fender wells in the back of this come up a lot higher. And of course, with those wide tires, a lot wider. The differential is going to come up a lot higher, so we'll have to raise this bed floor up so you don't see a big hole in there.
Right.
Still have that classiness with the custom look.
I told you I was going to make it easier on you on the next one.
Yeah, it's way easier, right? You know, no matter what it is, it isn't fast enough. It isn't big enough, low enough. He has to have just such his cars. This one's no different.
So I'll come by and pick them up next week.
Yeah, right. Come on. We'll see you soon, though. Marcos is back again. Longtime customer, has become a really good friend of mine. And, you know, the old saying, good ain't good enough, that's definitely the case with Marcos, because this truck is a lot of people's dream just the way it is. This 68 Ford, it's already been to a restoration shop. I mean, somebody's already gone through this thing and put it back pretty much factory and original, which is great for us. Getting it in this shape, we only got to make it cool now. We don't have to go back and fix rust, you know, make panels line up. We're not concerned with that at all. We're just going to make this thing have the right stance, the right engine, and the right wheels and tires. Marcos is a car connoisseur. Good ain't good enough for him. He wants this thing immaculate, something cool, unique going down the road. We're going to take this 68 Ford and just make it a rolling piece of cool art driving down the road.
I saw Marcos pull up there.
Pretty much a perfect truck, right?
That's a really nice truck.
Real nice.
So true Marcos fashion. You're gonna take a truck that's already restored, already looks good, already runs and drives. He wants to cut it up, make it better.
That's it. This thing doesn't ride good, doesn't drive good. You know, it's got a nice V8 in this thing, but there ain't no way.
Yeah.
We put a brand new Coyote in this thing, over 400 horsepower, just the engine. But then we're going to put a supercharger on it, too. You know that's what he's got to have.
So Marcos wants to go fast.
Right.
No.
You know, we're going to make a brand new chassis, bumper to bumper, all out of rectangle tubing. So it's going to be super rigid. This thing, I go through the corners, you know, like a race car.
Just getting rid of that front suspension is going to be a huge factor on this truck. This
This thing's scary to drive at 80 miles an hour. You know, as far as the interior, it looks nice. It has that classic look, which he wants to keep, but just a couple of custom touches all throughout. I love the brown and green together, so we're going to keep that color inside, but we're going to recover the seat, add custom door panels, and new carpet in it. You know, of course, Texas, you got to have the AC in it too. Yep. And to give room for those big 24s that are on the back of these things, we're going to have to build big, tall wheel tubs and wide wheel tubs. So what we're going to do is raise the bed floor in it so it matches the interior.
Man, this is going to be like the grandpa that bought the truck brand new and took care of it all of his life and gave it to the grandson as a gift. And the next time the grandson comes to the house, it's laid out on the ground, big wheels, motor, all obnoxious.
That reminds me of me when I was 16. My dad gave me a good-looking, perfect truck, the 83 Chevy N86, and I just tore it up.
Oh, no.
So he was mad at me. He's still looking down mad at me on now. Y'all ready to make some grandpas mad?
Let's do it. Ready?
First things first, this is what I want to do is unbolt the cab front end and pick it up off the chassis and just roll it completely out. We're not going to use any of that at all.
I just can't believe it's the last time it's going to be together. It being this nice. Man. Here we go.
Let's take the bed off.
Come on, Matt.
Heavy
Give us
part.
a hand.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
You take your bolt out? Oh, I see what it is. That's good, Tim. Basically because someone decided it'd be a good idea to weld the exhaust hanger to the bed structure. So when you're fabricating like an exhaust, you definitely don't want to put the hanger on the body. You want to go off the frames, because if you ever need to pull a bed, you'd have to cut the exhaust. But first cut, got that out the way. Let's get the bed off. Going down. 1, 2, 3.
Gotta go down.
Oh, all right. Look how clean this is, though, man. Can you appreciate that for a moment? It's not all greasy. It's not all dirty. It's nice. That only took 10 minutes to destroy a classic truck.
Your grandpa would be mad.
Grandpa would be mad. It is what it is. On to the new life.
You know, other people's custom might look good from the top, but underneath, we got, these have sheet metal screws running down through the bed, holding the wood down. It might look good from the top, but it's dangerous underneath this thing. Building a nice car isn't just, you know, what's on the outside. It's what's on the inside, what's underneath. You know, was feeling really bad about, you know, Marcos's truck looking really clean, really nice, really original, but that is definitely not the case.
We're going to add a 5.0 Coyote to the 68 Ford Ranger. So we're going to build a custom chassis rigid enough to handle all that extra power.
You know, in any project, you got to have this perfect platform. And that's exactly what we're doing, building a chassis for this thing. You know, this is going to be a major improvement for this old truck. The older chassis have a lot of flex and play, which, you know, adds to the longevity of the truck. This one isn't going to do that. We're going just total performance and ride quality on this. We're not worried about if the truck's going to work fine on the ranch 50 years from now. Not a concern. The very back with 8 inches, so it's a really weird shape. And if we're going to raise the floor up, might not do it like that. You know, normally when we build the frame back up over the axle and then back down to the bed floor. But in this case, we're going to raise the whole bed floor, so it kind of looks weird if we build the frame up, around, and back down. We're going to have to build super tall bed mounts to come up and catch the bed. That's something we don't want. So a more custom look would just be the frame coming back, going up over the axle, and then straight back. It's just going to give us a lot more room underneath there, a lot more room for the fuel cell, suspension, all the air components, and give that bed a real custom look. Now that Bill's figured out the way he wants to build this frame, it's time to start cutting it up. Basically what we're going to do is make this 2x4 frame continue up at a 45-degree angle into the 2x3 frame. Then the bed will sit right on top of this. The thing about this frame, it's going to have a big motor in this. We're going to lose a little bit of depth in the bed, but we'll have more room for the big fuel cell and a lot more rigid frame that'll support all the power we're going to put to those big wheels. Now we're going to come on the bottom side. We're going to use these tubes to brace the bottom. Hanging out that far, you kind of like a cantilever, and it'll kind of be trying to do this stuff when you put pressure. So what we're going to do, we're going to put some tubing here and go up into the frame. It's going to transfer all the weight into this tube here. You're not going to bend that frame. So the key here is form and function. We want to make sure everything works and it looks good. All these braces do something. What's happening, man?
Not much.
That's a good looking truck. You know, it's always cool to get two old Fords at the shop at the same time. This 1975 Bronco has a classic design with flat windows and straight lines.
It's been through 2 ex-wives and still got hold on it.
Oh, yeah.
I got my Bronco back in 1990 and just been driving it and changing up ever since.
You know, it looks done. What do you want to do to it?
Well, you know, I got a little issue with the roof. This Texas heat is bad, and you know how it is when you're driving around, going to the beach or going to Deerleys.
So you're just riding around and the sun just beating down on you. Man, you got such a good-looking truck. Then you get up to the top and you see that vinyl, afterthought. We can definitely improve on that. Is there anything else you want to do this?
I got something else in the back I'd like to show you. This gap back here.
Oh, okay.
This doesn't look right to me.
You know what? Some of it probably look really good, even shortening the frame on this thing and scooting the bumper a lot closer too, and then the whole thing fit a little tighter.
That sounds great.
So what are you thinking inside here?
I need a console, so something more secure.
So you want the safe down in the console?
Yeah, if that's possible.
Oh yeah, that's it.
No, there's one more thing.
Yeah.
I'd like to put a little hood scoop right here on this vent.
And there's a 5.0 in this thing?
Exactly.
Yeah, you definitely need a little more air to that thing, right?
Yeah, I think it's starving right now.
That's cool, yeah. Definitely handle that. You know, this Bronco looks really good. You can tell there's been quite a few things have been done to it over the years, but, just like any project, any custom car, there's always something else. Great looking truck.
That's what I like to hear.
Let's go make it happen. It's always nice when a customer keeps an old car alive. This thing's been around and around and around and around. It's been through many different hands, and it's good to see, a customer really appreciate what they have and just, keep adding. That's what's cool about old projects like this, and, an owner that has passion for these types of projects, there's always something else to do to it. You check 10 things off the list, there's always 10 more things that you can do to it to make it even cooler. So now this Bronco's life is in our hands. I'm gonna get a few guys on it to really fab up some cool custom touches. I'm a betting man, so I bet this thing is gonna be back within a year with a whole new list of things to do to make this Bronco even cooler. What up, fellas?
Oh,
what's up?
It's a good looking Bronco.
Man, it is. It's cool. This guy's had this thing for quite some time, just adding and adding. It's been an ever-evolving project.
Man, that's the downfall of custom. It just never stops. It just keeps going and going and going.
Always something to do.
Always something.
That's exactly what really helped him out. One of the things that isn't cool is the roof of this thing, right? This flimsy little makeshift roof isn't gonna cut it.
You do 70, 80 miles an hour on the road, that thing might slap you in the face.
Or fly off and slap somebody else behind you in the face. So, want to take this thing off and build, a custom roof for this thing. And the other problem is when you go park this thing somewhere, there's no way to lock everything up. So he wants to be able to go into a store and leave whatever in it locked up. Guns, pistols, knives, whatever, he wants to be able to lock it up. So we need lockable storage for the console. And I don't know if you've seen on the back of this thing, it's got a big gap in between the bumper and the body. It doesn't look right. It's definitely not custom, So we're gonna cut the back of the frame off and suck that bumper away in and make it look good. Make it look right. One more thing he wants, just that one last thing you wanted, is a custom air intake on the hood. Something to grab that air and force it down into the engine. More air, more power. That's it. That's it.
It's never just one more thing.
Yeah.
Never.
Oh, he's definitely going to be back with another list for sure. After years in the Texas sun, we're going to get rid of that old vinyl roof. We're going to replace that with a whole new custom aluminum one.
What we've done so far is we've established the straight lines of where we're going to start breaking everything. We'll take these measurements, transform to the aluminum, mark out where everything needs to be, where the brakes need to be, and then we're going to start cutting.
Now we got our whole panel cut out. So what I'm going to do is just notch out the corners, what we don't need. We're going to take this over to the brake, bend those down 90 degrees, and then we can start forming our edges.
So now we have this up here where it kind of needs to be. We're going to make a front piece and a back piece.
Now we got this shape how we need it to fit the windshield and the roof. I'm going to clamp this to the front of our roof, tack weld it. Now I got this stitched up to the roof. Now we can make our corners. Man, this aluminum roof is gonna be a whole lot nicer than that rag top he had. You won't have none of that wind noise with it flapping while you're driving down the highway, or even out real handy in these Texas summers. Keep the whole interior of this truck in the shade at all times. Style and comfort. What more would you want?
Put a late model 5.0 in this 75 Bronco. Tim and John are going to make a custom air scoop to force that air right into the engine and look cool.
A little something like that, probably. Now, the purpose of making this out of chipboard and bending it the way I did is now I can lay this out flat on a piece of aluminum, cut it just like this, all out of one piece. These reference lines I got drawn out here, put this in the brake, bend it up about 60 degrees, and flip it over, and I should get the desired look I'm looking for, just like on the template. It looks good, but I think I need to adjust it where the top of it looks even with the windshield.
Yeah, you got the windshield line going straight, and the hinge is straight. That's...
So if I make this side taller than that side,
think you get it done next 5 minutes?
sure. That's just one of those deals when you make something custom, you want it to look right. So we'll go trace this out on another piece and bend it the right way. You know, I didn't have to do this. It looked pretty good the way it was, but I'd really prefer it to look right instead of looking like it was droopy on one side of the truck. What's the extra little 10 minutes just to remake it a little bit taller and make it look right? That's what it takes to do the job right. So just do it. How's that look, buddy?
That should do it.
Now you can see with a little extra time, now it all looks straight, matches the windshield real good. Now it's just time to weld the backside.
We're finishing up on the custom chassis and suspension on the 68 Ford Ranger. While we're doing that, John's getting going on the interior.
You know, the first thing that I saw when I walked up to this truck and I opened up the door and I looked inside was the instrument cluster. You know, that was something that stood out to me. Something about it, you know, the way they were set back and had the bar going across the middle of it. I'm going to take that idea and just kind of incorporate those lines and style cues into this door panel.
Take every bit of concentration and detail that we put into the big jobs. It's nice to sit back every now and then, take a deep breath and relax and make something like this. When we have our center bar, we'll have this separate from the door panel, so when this is all wrapped, we'll have all these lines still there instead of just one big blob. We'll make this trim ring removable and wrap it separately. That way it continues the lines that we're trying to keep in the door. So now we just take a little bit of body filler here. All right. So this is the factory door panel off the F100. So the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna take my insert, get this thing mudded up, get it molded in, get it looking real good. Well, you know, we kept it nice and simple, so everything will have one nice cohesive flow. Now that I'm done with this, we'll have to wrap up the kick panels.
I gotta start using words like cohesive. Man, I like that word. Cohesiveness? Man, I like that. You know, when you get bored and you want to read something, the dictionary is where it's at. Look ahead.
The back half of the chassis is mocked up with the correct wheelbase.
So I got the cross member in, got the height of the cross member correct where we need it at. Now we can start building the rest of the frame. This engine is so wide, I have to make sure I get the frame rails on the cross member wide enough for that engine to fit in there. I'll take the measurements off the frame, put them on the table, calculate what I need on this, and I'll take what I built on the table and put it on the frame. The cross member side is 3 inches tall, the frame side is 4 inches tall. So what I'm gonna do is slice this down on one end and make a taper. And that's gonna give us a 4-inch by 3-inch tapered tubing. out with that slice we took out of there. All we gotta do is get one of these, tap it down, we can weld that back out, and then we got a taper. Well, there you go. 4-inch going down to 3-inch. Now we can fit this in the truck. Now we got these pieces connected to the back half of the frame. We can continue on to the front core support mount. Oh no. Got a little damage on this front end here. This hole forward. This part should be touching this part. Look at the size of that gap. They did a repair to try to get this connected back to this, but they didn't pull it back to connect it. They just filled it in there. So I'm going to have to cut out this repair off that they did to close that gap up. Let's see if we can get this cut out.
Wouldn't you know it, John found some damage on the front end of the 68 Ford Ranger.
You know, whoever repaired this kind of had it figured out, but didn't put it back where it needed to be. We're about 3/4 of an inch off. This side's longer than that side. It has to be straight. So what I did is I hooked me a ratchet strap and I pulled it till we got this to touch. Now I pulled a measurement from the end of the frame to here, and we're right on the money. Now we can connect from here to there and tack it all in place. You ever work on a car, make sure you do it 100% because you never know what the next guy will find. There you have it. We got a complete frame, front to back. Now we're ready to put big end tires on the back for some traction.
It's gonna be a fun one.
The owner, Dave, come with the list for a 75 Bronco, and we've been checking them off. We upgraded the stereo with modern marine-grade speakers to hold up in any weather. We cut the back of the frame and scooted the bumper a little more forward.
This Bronco is really limited on space, so we got this cool little safe here. Keep your wallet, sunglasses, maybe gun.
You know, we've modified a ton of things to this Bronco, and it was totally worth it. I mean, you're looking at it now from the way it was before, the thing looks good. But wait, one more thing, Bronco is finally done. Today's the day we're going to give it back. You know, I'm pretty sure he's going to customize this truck for the rest of his life, but once he sees this thing, I know he's going to be blown away. What up, man?
Not much, man. How's it going, Bill?
Man, real good. Good to see you today. Good day for you?
Oh, man, it's a fantastic day.
You know, you came into the shop, you had a couple ideas, and, you know, the list are. You ready to see all these check marks?
I sure am, Bill.
Let's check it out. Adrian, bring it on in.
Wow.
Looks cool, huh?
It looks fantastic. Man, look at that top. When that car came over the hill, man, I seen that top. It's a one-of-a-kind. No Bronco's going to have a roof like mine. Look at the scoop. That was a check off the list.
Right?
Wow. Look at those speakers, man. I can't wait to get in there and drive. Giddy up, let's go. This is exciting. Man.
Adrian, what's up, man?
What's up? What's up?
How's it going?
You know, Adrian's new to the shop. He's been watching this thing being built, and, you know, he's a Bronco enthusiast. He just had to come down and drive this thing.
It's not like a Ford Bronco, is it?
Yeah, man, Broncos have always been my favorite.
Can't wait to get in it and drive it myself.
One of the first things you see when this thing's coming down the hill at you is that little air scoop, right? Grabs that air and forces it down into the engine. Not only does its job, it lets people know you got something a little more than factory under the hood, right?
Exactly. Gives it that room.
The next issue you have was that old half roof you had. It didn't look real cool.
Didn't look cool at all, but that looks like over the top, man. And the way you mounted the light, it all matches. It all comes together perfect.
Lets everybody know you got something cool and custom going on there. You know, from the roof all the way sticking way out back. You know, John and Tim cut the back of the frame off and just sucked that thing all the way in, so it looks like it's supposed to be there now.
It's where it needs to be.
You know, that's the outside, but check out the inside.
Wow, man, you did hit it over the top.
Then you see new speakers up top. You got your 4 speakers in the back. The old stereo in this definitely wasn't going to cut it. But now, old Dave can drive down 80, 90 miles an hour and not have to worry about that wind noise. You can definitely hear this. And you finally got a place to put your gloves, too.
All right.
Lockable glove box, gun safe, lockable console. You know, your wife can put anything in there. You can put anything in the console and not have to worry about it.
Everything I'm seeing right now is just absolutely perfect. The roof, the lighting, the sound system. I can't wait to get on the road just to show it off. Man, it's fantastic. I can say she's truly completed now, but there's always another list.
You were just about to say that? I don't believe it. But as of right now, it's good.
I'm totally satisfied, Bill. You hit it right over the top.
Oh yeah, this is definitely not factory. This is why you can see all the screws underneath the bed. They're entirely way too long.
We're putting huge 24 by 15 inch wheels on the back of this 68 Ford Ranger. So Hugo's taking out the old bed floor. We're going to create an all new one with huge wheel tubs.
All right, so we got the bed on the truck. Marcos wanted a flat wood floor. So we built the substructure. The wood's gonna sit right on top of this. Next thing we're gonna do is put the bed sides on here. Then we'll be able to come in and put the wheel tubs, everything else through the middle of it.
Because it's a really big 24 by 15 inch wheel we're using on the 68 Ford Ranger, Tim and John are adding some custom wheel tubs and adding more support to the bed.
Basically what we're doing right now is making sure the side's straight because it's sheet metal, and where the inside of this bed is factory, it could be like this. I mean, it's 1968. So right now we're taking a little extra precaution to make sure that when we weld it, it should stay straight.
Once we get all these tacked in place, we can start fitting our tubs in. What I'm doing here is measuring from the center line inches that way, 15.5 inches that way. Now I line that up there, and that's our cut line.
So in the back we're running a 24 by 15 inch wide. So to make that, we gotta make a tub that goes over a 24 by 15 inch wide tire. I'm gonna take a piece of chipboard and make me a template. Now we're gonna transfer this template to the sheet metal, roll it, put it on the tub. So what we wanna do is make this tub look like it's one piece, like it was never welded together. I'll jump around, tack it, and then grind it down. It look like one tub and it was never cut in half. Now you can start to see how big this tire is gonna be. Look at this is a tire. This is a tire. Then we start the long task of welding everything in, which is going to take a while.
The guys did a good job making the wheel tubs on this 68 Ford Ranger. Lewis is going to add the color match wood right into the bed.
So this wood is hardwood, it's ash. It's a really good stain grade wood to work with. And we're doing stain work, so sanding is going to play a very important part. We want to make sure that we keep a nice, even pressure and consistent speed. All right, so now we're gonna get this stain mixed up. We're gonna use basically primary colors to match this leather that we have picked out for the truck. I actually make my own stains. You know, I eyeball everything. Some people might do this on a scale, but my grandfather's taught me since I was a young kid. We just start with our primary colors and kind of adjust from there. So you can tell we're starting to get to that orangish color that we're looking for. I'm gonna darken it up, throw a little bit of brown in it, see how close we can get to that leather. All right, let's see where we're at. I think we're close. Okay, I think we're close enough now to where we can actually go ahead and start spraying it, and I can make my adjustments in the actual booth. Right now, so the beauty of this is we can keep going over it until we get a lot
for the 68 Ford Ranger is back from powder. So now Tim and John are gonna put it together, make this thing a rolling chassis.
Want to check the engine on there first? That way I know how to run lines from there.
Let's roll.
All right, go up, go up.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand the amount of work when you build these new chassis, but the metal work's the easy part. Putting it flat on the ground like we're doing, you're limited to the amount of room, because steel to go in here, we have to put a bunch of brake lines, fuel lines, wiring harness, and a drive shaft. Everything's crucial. I mean, the exhaust is going to take up a huge part of this, so you can't get enough stuff close to the exhaust. It's going to get hot. You kind of got to pick your poison and pick out where you're going to put what first. And over time, we've just learned, placement of this or placement of that's worked best for us. So it was just all about space.
Looking good, Timmy.
Definitely looks different when it came in, huh?
Got some kicking ass on it for sure. Man, all the lines, everything looked real good. I mean, the air line, the fuel line, it looks real good. Man, I love this wrinkled copper, especially with the...
Man, if you're happy with it, I'm ready to put it down.
Man, let's do this. John, one of the things I hate the most about custom work is, sometimes you run across a job that somebody else had already started and you run across somebody else's shoddy work.
I'm with you on that 100%. You're gonna sweep the floor, sweep it up right. Don't make you a pile and then brush it under the table, under a toolbox.
That ain't doing it. Somebody's eventually gonna find it.
The first thing you do when a car comes in is look at the chassis, look at the suspension, and there's some stuff that I wish I've never seen.
Right.
And you had to fix that too. Man, that's just
snowballs and just
sometimes you don't like what you're doing, but you have to do them, and you have to do them 100%.
Even if the person knows no one's ever going to see it, or maybe no one ever will see it, they know. They know if the job's done right or not, right?
Yep. You know what you did, and we found it.
It's not every day we take a 68 Ford Ranger that's almost in perfect condition and make it even better. He's been building a garage for his cars, so he invited me over to come check it out, so I got a little garage warming gift for him.
Come on in. What you think, Bill?
Dude, this is a hell of a garage, Marcos. Marcos invites me into car paradise. This is every car guy's dream right here. One of the first things you do, you go down Lamborghini aisle. You got the McLaren, you got the Ferrari aisle. Man, leave it to Marcos to build a house for his cars, right next to his house. This is cool. This is just amazing.
This is phase 1. I'm doing phase 2. We gotta add on that side.
Well, you know what? I got something that might fit really, really good.
What you got? You got a chair? You got a bar stool? Floor mat?
Oh, come on, man.
Oh my God, Bill.
Coming outside and seeing that F100 for the first time.
That thing looks sick.
Right? You just can't go anywhere and buy one of these. He knows this is especially built for him.
Oh my.
Is that low enough or what?
Dude. That thing is on the ground.
Late model 5.0 Coyote, supercharged. You're pushing about 750, 800 horsepower right now.
750, 100 horsepower on this thing, Bill. Wow.
It started out being a nice truck, right? It looked almost new.
Right.
But your bar is set really, really high. And we got to come through every time. Old motor, old trans, old rear end, old everything rolled right out the shop. Totally started over. We started out building a new chassis, front to back. All new suspension. Every part of this thing underneath is all handmade. Big 24x9s in the front, 24x15s in the rear.
Nice.
2 big wide black marks wherever you go.
That's what I like. I like the black mark.
Marcos, you pop that hood, you see that wrinkled copper powder coat. It just ties everything in together.
It's all about the little details. They make customs, different from anybody else.
That's it, man. Check out this interior, man.
Oh Holy crap.
John and the guys really got down and, built the kick panels.
I see that.
Carpet
Looks
in
good.
there.
Oh my God, look at the carpet.
Right? It looks good. Just ties everything together. Freshen up these door panels. Just brought in a little feel, but it looks custom.
I mean, the carpet, it was like, guys, you can see some of these cars that I got right here on my main cave. I don't even got the details that I got on this thing.
What do you think back here, Marcos?
Look at how wide these things are, dude.
This isn't just for looks either, Marcos. The wheel and tire itself is 16 inches.
Wow.
And to get this all the way on the ground, the wheel tubs come up that far. There's no exaggeration here. This is what you have to get this thing all the way on the ground.
It looks so smooth, so clean, like a piece of glass, like a piece of art.
Right? The wood that was in here, there was no saving that. We had to come in, put brand new wood. Still gives it that classic feel.
Right.
But that is nothing but custom.
It's amazing what you guys done on this thing, dude. I really appreciate that. The best thing about all this is that that it's all handmade. Every single detail that they did on this truck, I mean, it basically fits with that intention that it can make this thing one of the kinds.
You say you want a cool truck.
Oh, man. This is it. I mean, that's exactly what I had on mine when I brought him to you, and basically you made my dream come true. I got really special place on my garage for
think every guy comes into work and busts their ass every day on Sunny Drive, makes things happen just like this truck right here, and I can't thank them enough.
bullet hole in the car?
Yeah. The 1996 Impala was the car back in the 90s.
I've been wanting to bring you a car for so long.
I'm gonna put 24 15s in the back of this thing. John's gonna build a crazy interior. Check this out. We were a little fooled on this thing. What else it was doing before it got here? It doesn't matter. This thing is just gonna be a game-changing, badass car.
Damn, Bill, look at that. Oh, man.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Because my shop sits on the same plot of land where I grew up on the north side of Houston, I feel like my neighbors basically grew up with us. Some of them even became a big part of our team like listeners. And today, we're giving a build back to a fellow Northsider.
Growing up as a little kid, I lived in the neighborhood. I would see all these cool trucks just drive by my house. First thing you talk about is, hey, have you talked to Bill? Have you gone to Extensive? Check out what they're building next. Saw this Ram. First thing in my mind was, I got to drive this over to Bill, lay it out on the floor, some big wheels. It's going to be awesome when it's done.
What's happening, man?
What's up? How you been?
Real good, real good.
I'm ready to see this truck, man. I've been excited about it since the day I dropped it off.
I know you have. The new Dodge, and that's the first time we ever got one in, with the new body style to put this thing on the ground. It definitely had some challenges. Hope this thing is nice, man. It's nice. So let's check it out.
Absolutely, man. Let's go. Oh, damn, Bill. Man, that thing looks sick. This thing's gonna turn heads no matter what.
This thing looks good.
This thing looks better than good, man. This thing is amazing. Golly, Bill. Man, that thing sits all the way down to the ground. You outdid yourself on this.
Hope you like your truck, man.
Man, it's a dream come true.
It's all the way to the floor like you wanted it.
Absolutely, man.
That thing looks good. There's a ton of work in engineering that makes a vehicle to day in and day out. We tore out all the factory suspension and just started over. We built new control arms, new tooling.
That looks sick, man.
Big 26-inch billet wheels with this truck sitting low. It just changes the whole look of this thing,
man,
right?
It's tucking that wheel like crazy, man. I'm surprised that you even got it that low for me, man.
A lot of work was involved to get this thing all the way on the ground like that. So everything on top of the wheel tubs all have to be relocated. So we went back and made nice brackets for everything. If you pop the hood, it looks like it came that way.
Yeah. Shoot, man, I'm gonna be dreaming like a kid tonight.
I got some good guys. You know, I didn't do it all myself. Lulu stepped up and really took charge of this thing, and he built most of the suspension components on this thing and installed it, man.
Bringing it to you guys here at Extensive, I knew it was in good hands.
Were you ready to ride?
Absolutely, man. I want to get this thing on the road.
Well, man, have fun with this thing.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it very much, man. You and the team. Appreciate it, man.
Have fun. Let us know how it does.
The north side has been good to Extensive. Of course, we take pride in every build that rolls out, but it means a little something extra when you see that build driving around the neighborhood. We just picked up a 1996 Impala for our customer of ours, Pete, and today he's coming by to figure out exactly what we're going to do to this thing.
What up, Pete?
What's going on, Bill? How you been?
Man, good.
So you picked it up, huh?
It's a cool car, man.
Yeah, it is, man. It is.
The 1996 Impala was the car back in the 90s. Even today, they're highly sought after. Part of the appeal of this thing is it came with a small block LT1 V8, which packed a lot of power back in the 90s. I know you've been dreaming about this thing for years and years.
Yes, sir. I've been wanting to bring you a car for so long. I was about 8 when the car first came out. Just loved them. Everybody had them in my neighborhood. You kind of like grow up loving the car that you loved in your childhood.
So what do you want to do with this thing, Pete?
Really want to make this car a game changer. I want to have the baddest Impala out there.
You know, that's why you're here, right?
Yeah.
These cars have been around for, 25 plus years, and, people have been customizing them for 25 years. Pretty much everything has been done to these things you can possibly think of, but I got a couple ideas. Of course, we got to get this thing really low to the ground.
Oh, yeah.
24s all the way around, but not just that. A 2415 in the back of this thing. Just a big with a low profile, wide built-in wheel.
That's definitely going to stand out.
It's going to set this thing apart from every other Impala. To change the game, we got to change the frame. We're going to cut the frame off right underneath the back seat and build it from there all the way back to give these billet wheels plenty of room to go up underneath the body. Man, I love this car too in black. It fits it. So I just freshen up the paint, freshen up the bumpers, freshen up the lights, the hood. Let's get rid of that cow hood, man. That was a rage, 20 years ago, but we can't have that now.
Yeah, I know it.
Inside, what interior is this thing?
Yeah, well, I ripped it out a while back. Had plans for it and just really never put it back in. I was thinking we're doing something one of a kind on the outside, but why not do something special, fully custom on the inside?
Man, I got the guys for that.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
John and his guys will really get in this thing and just build you something just totally cool.
90s foundation, but with that 2021 look.
There you go, man. This thing's definitely going to be a game changer.
That sounds great, Bill. Let's make it happen.
This Impala was the car. This was every kid's dream back then. But now, years later, these kids are all grown up and want to go back and purchase their dream, going to be Pete's dream car. There's nothing cooler than that, to build someone's dream and to be able to present it to them. Pete wants to change the game with this car, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of most of the 90s modifications like the cow hood or like embroidery in the door panels. Just bring in the new style, the new look. The name of the game is starting fresh.
Already getting started, huh?
Yeah.
Easy work right here.
Man, I've always liked these big body Impalas. Pretty much everything's been done one of these 100 times over, right?
Yeah, they kind of seem to look the same.
Oh, Pete, he wants a game changer on this thing, so we're going to do something different that I've never seen before.
This is never a good sign. This equals a lot of work.
It's always a lot of work. All right, first things first, let's get the rear end out of this thing, the exhaust, gas tank, and just cut the frame off and front and back wheels back. We'll build a subframe, and then we'll tie it into the factory existing frame.
Okay.
And then we're going to incorporate air suspension in with it also.
Oh, wow.
We're going to put 24 tires, so it's going to be
That's a lot of tire.
So we're bagging this on the ground with a 16-inch wide tire.
The rear end's gonna be what, about this wide?
yeah, pretty much. If you see this thing parked somewhere, it's going to make you pay attention, right?
Definitely.
Totally change the game with this thing. Narrow the rear end, super narrow to accommodate and get really low to the ground.
We're gonna tub this thing all the way over to here and tub this one all the way to here. You can delete the whole back seat.
John and the guys in the interior, I'm sure they'll come up with something cool to fill in that little space there. We already got a little head start. There's no interior, so we can just get right to cut. If you're gonna have a Impala, you gotta have a black Impala, right? Just keep it black. This thing's a 96 model, so it's showing its age, of course. So we want to go through the outside of this thing, freshen up the bumpers, new grille, the lights, make this thing look good. Ready to do this?
Good.
That's it.
Tim and Jamie are tearing the suspension out and cutting the frame right behind the back seat all the way to the bumper. So we can build a whole new subframe that'll hold these big old 24 by 15 inch tires.
Ready?
Go.
1, 2, 3. That's your rear frame.
Before we make room for the big wheels, Julio's gonna take out the rear glass.
We gotta lose a couple of bolts that are touching the glass. After that, we're just gonna start cutting on the glass. This not supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be an easy job. Whoa, look at that. Mr. Bill, I need to show you something real quick. I think I know why they're giving me a hard time. They put Bondo over it.
We were a little fooled on this thing. Back in the day, Impalas were out of reach for a lot of people, but we could get an old comp car for a third of the price you could for Impala. Just do whatever you got to do to get this out of the way, and we'll take it from there. Somebody obviously took a Caprice and tried to make it into Impala. Caprices were pretty much the exact same body style with very subtle differences. And one of the differences was the back quarter glass. The Caprice had a big triangle back glass, then this on the back. Caprice, Impala, shoddy craftsmanship, to say the least. You know, every build has a story to tell. Of course, some stories are just way more interesting than others. Oh, man. That's definitely a bullet hole. In 10 minutes, we found out this thing isn't a real Impala, and it's been in a shootout. Bet that's not the only one in here.
The bad part or bullet hole?
Both. No telling what else we're going to find when we start cutting on this thing, right? It's never fun giving a customer bad news. But old Pete, you know, he thought he was bringing us the car of his dreams. That 1996 Impala, but what he brought us was Impasta, a 1996 Caprice that looked like an Impala. I gotta break the news to him. Pete, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on, Bill? How's the car coming along?
We did run across a couple things I wanted to run by you. That's why I wanted to talk to you this morning.
Oh.
Yeah, we were picking at some bodywork, and one of the things uncovered not only a bullet hole in it.
Y'all found a bullet hole in the car? Created that.
You know it. We also dug a little more, kept digging, and found out your car isn't an Impala. It's a Caprice. Somebody converted it, made it look like Impala when it's really a Caprice.
No, that was the thing back in the days. Everybody was converting them Caprices to Impalas.
Right. Before we got any deeper in your car, I just want to make sure you're cool with that.
Of course, I prefer to have an Impala, but in this case, I don't see that being a reason to stop this.
You know, I totally agree. No matter what it is, Impala, Caprice, it doesn't matter. This thing is just going to be a game-changing, badass car.
I already know.
this thing's going to be way better than before. And the way better than before version gets really, really low on those big 2415s. Building a subframe just on the back of this car. So from the ground up to where the tires would bottom out with the air suspension, and then back down to catch the back of the bumper. 13. You know, so we got our side profile measurements. Only thing left to do is drop this thing down, get some levels out on each side to know exactly how wide the body is.
What's up?
Dude, look at this.
No way.
You know we found the bullet hole, right?
Oh, man, that's a slug from it, huh? Damn. I wonder how long that's been in there.
It's like a 9mm.
Man.
I would hate to have been in the back seat.
It's been shot at. I wonder what else it was doing before it got here.
There ain't no telling.
Right?
Let's hold the level on the other side of the body.
Okay.
I'll hold it on this side. We'll get our measurement of exactly how wide this body is. Then we know how much room we got to work with. Right in the middle of the fender well.
Uh-huh.
When you let all the air out of this thing, it's going to drop way, way, way low. Basically, the tire is going to sit in the window jamb itself. So we can't be off an 1/8 inch. You don't want to have the tire rubbing the body, and then you'll have a big paint blister where the paint was heated up from the tire rubbing. This is 75.5. We got our outside dimensions established, so now we're going to come in from our outside dimension to where exactly the tire is going to sit, and we'll come in 2.5 inches. Then we know, with a couple subtractions, exactly how wide this frame needs to be. That's what we got. The frame needs to be 35.5 inches wide. We're going to be putting 24, which is huge for anything, much less a, Impala. This thing is wide. So that is the outer part to where the wheel mounts, 12 inches. To fit those big old 24 by 15 inch wheels, Jamie has to shorten the axle.
First thing I need to do is go ahead and drain the rear end before I start pulling anything else out. It's really important to keep all of the pieces right here together because there's shims in there. You don't want to misalign those shims because you'll start rubbing or wear your ring and pinion out. So what I like to do, so I know I don't mix each side up, is I'll make a punch mark. Make 3 on this side, 2 on this side, so I never get mixed up. So next thing I gotta do is go ahead and pull this bolt. It's gonna release this pin right here. Once I pull this pin, then my axle should slide right out. So the clips right there is what holds the axles in the housing. A limited slip differential is basically lets both axles move freely so you're able to turn corners without the tires chirping. Burp, 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 burp. Now this is out, so I'm gonna take out 8 inches on each side. I'm scribing the rear end to make sure it goes back perfectly the way it was. So scribing it like that, I can line up my mark to make sure the brake rotors are exactly clocked the same way. So this is my last cut. Took 8 inches out both sides. Go ahead and bring it over the next side. Go ahead and weld it out. It's going on basically just like it came off, minus the 8 inches. I got everything squared up, lined up with my scribe mark. Basically, if this was out of whack, that would mean your axle would be crooked in there. That could wear out the bearings in here, the seals on the outside. So it's really important that this is perfectly straight. Everything's smoothed out. You can see my welds. Don't even look like they were over there before. Looks like it came like this from the factory. It's perfect.
Our frame is going to be made out of 2x3 rectangle tubing, and we're going to lay that out on the table right here in exact measurements. Let's see what we got here. 45 degrees. Once we have our frame laid out on the table, we're going to make templates with our chipboard. Then we can take our templates right over to the saw. Bam, Timmy, it works good. We cut it 1 time and 1 time's on the money.
Now we have all the puzzle pieces cut for this frame.
They line up right with the lines we made earlier. Now we have them all cut. They have these little birds on them here. What you do is come back, clean them birds off. I'm gonna put a little bit of bevel on each side, so it'll make like a valley for the weld to sit in. What that does, it'll let the weld penetrate all the way through, and you won't have a bunch of welds sticking up on top. It'll actually bend down into the metal, make the wood smooth, and be a good, real clean weld that gets all the way through.
Timmy did a great job fitting everything together. Everything looks 100%. That's exactly what we want. The gaps to fit perfect, beveled, nice, smooth, 45 degrees. You know, starting out with a good foundation, always 100% key. You know, I've been welding a lot of years. So is my dad, so is my grandpa. My welding pedigree goes way back. Owning a custom car business, you know, gets a little monotonous dealing with phones, emails, paperwork. All that really gets in the way of my true and creating. You know, that's what I love to do, and that's what I'm going to do till I'm not around anymore. You know, Timmy, even though this thing turned out being a Caprice and not an Impala, putting these big old wheels underneath that car, it instantly becomes cool, right?
That might even be better than it's a Caprice. There's some cool Impalas out there. How many cool Caprices have you seen out there?
No doubt. If you're a Caprice owner, or if you're an Impala owner, you're going to be envious of this. Keegan, you ready for the day?
Yes, sir.
You know, as much as I achieve personally, there's nothing better than riding to work with my son, Keegan. He pretty much grew up around the shop. He has his own hopes and dreams, but he's coming to the shop with me a couple days a week, you know, just like my dad did for me. You know, you're out of high school now, going to college, just coming in day here and there.
Yeah, I'm really glad to, you know, finally do something instead of, of course, wasting my days away at home.
Hard work, work ethic, that's what I want to pass down to him. You're learning getting up every day, using that fire down in your chest. Set a goal, see it through all the way to the end, and do a good job.
No cutting corners.
No, sir. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Job one around here is making what the client wants. So we're going to turn this 96 Caprice right into the Impala that the owner wants, plus some. We cut the floor, installed a new custom subframe, and mocked up the suspension. So now Jamie's going to build the wheel tubs to fit those big 24x15s.
So you can see how big these tires are. It's a lot of wheel. In order to get this all the way up inside the wheel well, we're going to have to cut a lot of this wheel well out. So basically, I'm going to bottom this out. We can actually see what we need to cut out inside of the car to bottom this big wheel up in there. Okay, so you can see I'm using this wooden block to kind of give me a guide right here. Just a quick little trick that I use just to trace out the wheel well to get the same dimension as the wheel here. I'm using an 1.5 inch block because I have an 1.5 inch space in between bottoming out on my rear end. That's my little step to get it in there. I don't want to overcut anything. Okay, so I got these spaces right here, basically 1/4 inch between my tub and my wheel so it'll never rub. I'm gonna go ahead and set my wheel tub on top. Got them mocked up exactly where I want to put them. Go ahead and pull these big old wheels off and pull my sheet metal to the edge of the body. Woo. So you can see the size of these tubs, the length of my arm. What I need to do is go ahead and add sheet metal to my tub to bring it out to the body. Just keep adding piece by piece, trying to get my rear quarters in first, then I'm gonna walk all my sheet metal this way, and then I'll tie in the rest on the rear tub. I chose to do it this way because trying to do this in one piece would be pretty time consuming, so I'm going to go with quick and efficient.
While Jamie's finishing up the rear tubs, John's gonna get going on the custom door panels.
All right, looking at this door panel, it only has one line on it that I really like, and that's the separation between the top piece and the bottom piece. We're gonna keep this piece that matches up to the strip it, cut it up, and work off of that to make the whole bottom completely new. Step 1, cut it. Step 2, make it better. We're just gonna layer this up, make this 2 different pieces, put some lighting in it. All right, so I got all my pieces made. Start stacking it up. What we're gonna do with this piece of acrylic, we're gonna inset it in here so that all you're gonna see is just this top edge of it here. It'll all be covered up. We'll have the LEDs buried up inside of here. It's just to give us a little detail in the door and light it up. Got them all stacked up, so the next thing we gotta do, body work, is sit down and start sanding. Pretty much, we body work more than the body shop.
I don't move very often. I just sit here and do several hours a day, body working days at a time. I have no fingerprints left. This is what I do.
While Brian's over there in his world of bodywork, doing his thing, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the bottom half of the door. I'm gonna start by making this base panel. Then from that base panel, we'll take our baffle and build that up from there. And get that chip out. All the door panels are laid up, everything's ready to go. So the next step we're gonna do, start laying fiberglass. After this, we go straight into bodywork.
Tubs come up high, huh? Man, they are right there underneath the windows. That's a lot of tire to fit in there, but
yeah, man. We're making good progress at turning this 96 Caprice into a one-of-a-kind Impala.
You know, John's gonna build a crazy interior in this thing, and it'd be real cool to be able to have the whole interior flow all the way back and have all this open.
How are we gonna do that?
We cut this out, and John can build out all the way around it.
You can see the enclosure.
You'll be able to see all that nice and open.
I don't think I've seen that before.
It's going to be cool, man. There's nothing structural about it now, and so cutting this out is not going to affect anything. Just cut right on this line right here.
Okay.
And let's get this totally all the way to the hinges. There won't be another Impala like this.
Nah, definitely not. So Bill just walked by and just glanced at this and just got an idea. It's pretty cool how he's able to just do that.
Removing the metal underneath the rear glass means you'll just see all the way into the trunk. All the custom box, speakers, amps, everything.
That's pretty cool, huh?
It is. I think we cut even more. Just cut this out.
Yeah?
I mean, the glass is right here. So
yeah, plenty of lip.
Might as well make it to there.
You know, I'm always pushing myself just to see what would make a build even better. It's definitely a blessing and a curse because it always adds time we don't have. But man, I don't want it any other way.
Looks good. I'm actually glad we ended up doing this. Just looking at it right now, it looks so much better. It's unique. I'm really excited about this car.
We finished the suspension and metalwork on the 96 Caprice. Before we roll it into interior, Keegan and I are going to get on this exhaust.
What's up? The last thing we got to do before this thing goes over to the stereo shop is exhaust. So you can help me do that and get you a little experience under your belt. Sounds good? This is cool. This is the lowest point. This shaft is not going to come any lower this way. We can put the muffler as high up as we can, super close to the drive shaft, and we're good.
I've been working here ever since I can remember. I've become really good at sweeping up floors and cleaning up around the shop and making it somewhat clean.
We have to go around this transmission mount here and then go all the way over and tie straight into that. We use this to give us a little angle instead of just eyeballing it.
It's always cool learning and working on stuff like this. Putting this exhaust together with my dad finally gives me a little experience under my belt.
This is what the angles we need here. Bend that, it should fit right on the money.
You know, it's pretty cool to have my son up at work. Maybe pass down a couple things that my dad passed down to me. Stay on this side of it till the last minute when you can just reach over. Don't put your body on this side of the blade. It's a good feeling to be able to teach him a few things while he's here. But we build it in. That should fit on that perfect. Even underneath here, something simple as exhaust, you still want it to look good and be proud of what you do.
Of course. You wouldn't want to have a nice, beautiful car on top, and as soon as you put it on the lift, it looks trashy.
You did that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to work with your dad. Okay. It does that. It's tight. You know, I used to hate working with my dad sometimes because we get into it a lot. Always thought I knew a better way to do it, which did. Man, that'll work. Got a nice little flow to it. Everything's tucked up underneath here. You know, the last little bit is just coming out of the muffler around, and then we'll dump it right here.
Oh, cool. So you're actually not going to see them at the back of it.
That's all it needs on this. And still have a real nice tone to the exhaust, too. You know, the closer you have the muffler to the end of the pipe, the more of a throaty sound. You know, this thing is super tight, so there's no way to really bend what we need to bend and make it clean looking. So what we'll do is use these mandrel bent pieces, and we'll chop out what we need and just build it piece by piece. I'm not going to force anything on him. If he loves doing this, cool, but I just want him to come to work and learn a skill. Look at that. Little jobs like this and teach him discipline, work ethic, that experience he can use, you know, for the rest of his life. Cut that one. This is going to be on the very end of the exhaust. Saw that, and then just make the identical right here. Everything's all mocked up, looks good. Everything's tucked up underneath there. Has a nice flow to it. You did good today.
So that's it. Thank you.
Now it's up to John and Brian to hand build that custom interior.
Back it into my shop. Straight up. Straight. So here's my thought, man. What if we did 313s right here, mount them far enough back? It'll still give us the idea of that depth back into here, but we're going to have to utilize every bit of airspace. So the box is going to have to be modular. The idea to really make this thing a game changer is to cram as much bass in this trunk as humanly possible. So we're shooting for about 11 cubic feet of airspace to give us the proper output and a smooth bass response. Oh yeah. That's going to be pretty impressive from this side, man. That does look kind of good. I'm thinking let's do a window in the top of this thing. Right in the center, just something small, just so you can see a little bit of the motor structure in there, because the back of these woofers is going to be just as impressive as the sound on the front of them. But why not have windows in the back so you can see what's going on inside and show off a little bit of your hard work? Our pieces are probably going to have to be as wide as the bracing to hide the screw. So from the side when you're looking, you don't see a screw sticking down through your acrylic. You can't just cut a hole and screw a piece of plexiglass to it. It takes a little bit more work than that. You got to have trim around it. You want to make sure it's nice and clean and neat. Short. We'll get that centered up, get that attached. If you're ready to start putting the top together on this box, we'll get all the rest of the pieces made on the back of this thing, man. We'll be good to go.
The four-door body on this 96 Caprice gives us plenty of room to build a badass, crazy interior.
We got the box in place, so what our next step is to make all the side panels and trim in over the wheel tubs and over all of the structure for the trunk. Got some panels.
Do they fit?
I don't know. Probably not. Oh. What we're doing right now is we're just going to get the base structure in place. Once we get the base structure in place, from there we'll take chipboards down to the wheel tub. That way it'll all be one big panel that'll slide out together. If everything was planned out properly, and Brian did, his part right.
Why are you gonna blame me for it all?
Better you than me. We got all our pieces in here, all of our chipboards done. So now we're gonna go in and reinforce everything with some fiberglass and some resin. Once it's dry, we can pull it out, and this will actually turn this all into one panel from the top all the way around the wheel tub. Get it body worked on top of that, and then we'll see if it comes out like a glove. Watch. You broke it.
Not yet.
Well,
I forgot to put that in there.
You didn't have to redo it. Oh, yep. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at that.
So what I'm seeing is we got to put all this in before they put the glass in. It'll go in from the front side. These panels worked out good. I'm glad they came out and didn't break. We don't have to fix anything.
Yeah.
So all we have left to do is everything else.
When this car was made, the defining difference between a Caprice and Impala was that side quarter glass. We cut out a couple of pieces from the old Impala quarter skin so we can turn this Caprice.
So I got a piece from another Impala. It's actually the proper window piece. Something that I need to pay attention to is a gap right here on the door for the window. So making sure this is in the proper place is very key. I'm trying to take this thing apart as easy as possible. So I cut out my panel. It's loose in here, but the spot tacks are still holding it. So I'm just gonna lightly chisel in between to separate the panels. All right. I have these lines marked right here because my window's got to fit right here in these holes. So I need to make sure that it's on the money. Really what I'm focused on is this body line right here. Looks good. I'm going to put a few tacks on it. Fit my window, make sure my window's good. This piece is exactly where I want it. My gap's even all the way down. That's money, man. We'll go ahead and continue welding this out. Kind of spread my heat out evenly so I didn't get any kind of warpage in this panel because that could happen real quick. Okay, so you can see we went from Caprice to Impala. Got the panel welded in there. Everything's ground down. Everything looks good. So now all we got to do is take care. First thing I got to do is go ahead and just cut out the metal around this hole. Believe it or not, this is not the first bullet hole I've patched in cars. I worked at body shops, restoration, stuff like that, and I've seen some older cars, you know, like Bonnie and Clyde, that have had bullet holes riddled in them. You know, it's still the real Wild West out here in Texas. So you see, got the bullet hole out finally. Got my other piece already made for it. Same radius. Same. Gonna make that bullet hole disappear. Take it to the metal doctor. Okay, so I got the bullet hole taken out, new metal put in, it's ready for a little body filler. Can't mess with Texas.
With the bodywork being finished, this thing looks even better than a 1996 Impala. Edgar's painting it in a classic gloss black. Over in the interior, John and Brian are wrapping up all their hand-built parts in black vinyl and blue suede.
We have a good contrast of materials in here. We've got soft vinyl, shiny vinyl. We've got our suede. We got a lot of depth and some dimension to this. Check this out.
Let's see.
Oh, that with the lights down in the bottom pocket of the door,
In the console,
in the trunk.
it's gonna look like a UFO at nighttime.
Just a big black UFO with blue lights coming at you.
I'm clear over here.
Come down, and then back. Now that that's in, just a matter of following the puzzle and putting the pieces together. Get all three of the sub amps in it. There's a glare coming off the top of this thing up here.
Must be nice to have a whole head full of hair.
It is. There's a little over 10,000 watts going in this car, so this thing ought to scream.
I never met my grandpa, but hearing my dad talk about his dad and how hard he was on everyone to get up, go to work, he definitely passed that down to my dad, and I'm definitely passed it down to him. You know, a lot of times I hated getting up, going to work with him, but now, you know, I really, really do appreciate, you know, my my dad showing me the ropes. That's one of the reasons why I make your butt get up and come to the shop and, learn.
Constantly learning, constantly getting better at anything you do is really important. No matter what it is, either sweeping the floors or working on my dad, I've definitely taken it no matter what I do.
Not only did my dad teach me a craft, but he also taught me how to be successful. Maybe one day he'll be able to pass down the tools for success. Put your mind to something, accomplish the goals, and do it right the first time. We don't want no kids anytime soon.
Yes, I know.
Grandpa, yeah.
I know.
It's been a long time coming. Pete's been dreaming about this Impala since the 90s, and today his dream is gonna come true. Pete said you wanted something cool, wanted to set this car totally apart from all the rest. I think we did our job most definitely. We changed the Impala game.
What's up, Pete? Oh, nothing much, Bill. How you doing?
Man, all right.
Got that call from this morning. You sounded pretty excited.
Yeah, man.
Can't wait to see it.
That car came in, it was hurting. We were throwing for a little loop, halfway through the build, finding out that it was really a Caprice and not an Impala. But where we're at now, it doesn't matter. Caprice, Impala, you just got one cool-ass car.
Let me see it, Bill. Come on. Where's it at?
Come on with it.
Damn, Bill. Look at that. Oh, that. Golly. Look at them big old wheels. Damn. That's exactly what I wanted. Look at them 15s. They all the way in there, Bill. Man, when I saw that thing go down and just swallow up that back wheel, that thing looked ridiculous.
How we do, Pete?
I mean, I'm still trying to pick up my jaw, man. God.
First thing you see, man, those huge wheels sitting low to the ground and the 2415 on the back of this thing.
Oh, yeah.
In order to get it all the way down, we cut the frame off right by the back seats. It's all new underneath there. Air suspension, narrow the rear end, this thing a ride and drive better than a brand new car.
Didn't doubt, Bill, but I seen it as a heck of a project, but he did it. And I've never seen anything like that before.
We went through this thing front to back. New bumpers, new light lenses, new everything. Clean, man.
Clean. That all blacked out look with the billet wheels just sets it off. And I love the idea of taking the emblems off. I mean, to me, it's not even an Impala anymore, Bill. It's a 2021 SS.
Somebody ask you what it is, that's what you're going to tell them.
That's what I'm going to tell them every single time.
And what was in there was just tired. Yeah. So I just said, John, here. Pete wants this thing one of a kind, and he wants it loud.
We got a total of 5 amps in this thing.
Wow.
Just on the subwoofers alone, there's over 7,500 watts. When it comes down the road, it's going to be quaking. Brian got down with the custom door panels on this thing, really went over the top. We have an 8-inch, a 6-inch, and 2 Pro tweeters in each door.
You turn this thing up, it will actually literally hurt you.
Yes.
I don't know if I want to drive it first or hear it first. God.
You can do both of them at the same time. So all that's going on in there, check this out.
Oh, man. What?
Rear deck is gone.
I see that.
Bill cut out the whole deck back here. We got it all tubbed out. We got the clean lines running the door panels, all just flowing to the back of the car.
Got it stair step down on those acrylic pieces with the lights shining in through. So when this thing is going down the road at night, it's got a blue glow coming out of it. Looks like a spaceship coming at you.
It already looks like a spaceship on the outside.
Check this out.
Oh, man. What'd you do? Put a motor back here?
That's the engine to your sound system right there, man.
We touched every inch, front to back.
Man,
Not crazy enough?
I'm in love, Bill. Love at first sight. Thank you, guys, man. This is everything I could have dreamed of and wanted.
Killed it. Looking in this car, seeing all that blue, black, the lighting, the crazy stereo. I've not seen another Impala like this.
Awesome.
Appreciate you,
Thank
Pete.
y'all guys, man.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Let's see what else you can dream up. Here, what are we doing? We just got a pretty cool 71 Suburban out in the lot.
Do a little audio in it?
Well, that was the plan. That's not the plan now.
I see it lifted up. I see air ride suspension.
That's the name of the game around here. Now we can really start letting the creativity and the fabrication all come together. Did a lot of work on this 2006 Kodiak already.
What else does he want now?
He wants to put an extra wheel and tire in the back.
One wheel is going to be a problem.
So the structure is going to be there. The flow, it's going to look like it was made like this.
Oh my God, Bill.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
You know, we just got a pretty cool 71 Suburban out in the lot. You know, this, you know, I owned one of these things for a short period of time and, you know, I miss it. You know, I'm definitely attracted to this car. Good looking truck.
What's up, buddy? What's up, man?
You know, it's endless possibilities what you can do this old Suburban. You know, I've seen them way high, seen them way low. You know, so whatever the owner Ronald wants to do this thing, I know it's going to be cool.
Is that truck you're telling me about from Maryland?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it looks 4x4. Is it true 4x4?
Yeah, it is.
Man, it's cool. What are we doing to it, though?
Man, I don't know. And I got to get on a Zoom call and see what he's got going on.
He just bought it and said I'm shipping it, huh?
It's here for a reason. About to go find out.
Let me know what he says.
Ronald, how you doing?
Doing good, Bill, man. Excited.
Just got that Suburban in, man. That thing is, it's nice.
It's cool, but it needs to be a little bit cooler.
Oh, definitely.
It needs a touch. I mean, you've seen it. It needs some loving.
So, it's here. What are we doing?
I see it lifted up. I see air ride suspension, new tires. I see it pouring a nice airstream down the road and looking just incredible.
Heck yeah.
It's four-wheel drive, so I'm not the kind of guy, I don't like going low, but you know, I do want it to go up a little bit, and I want the stance to be cool.
So you're maybe something worth aired up from there?
Maybe a little higher than where it's at right now. Does that sound like it'll work?
Absolutely.
I just want it to blow people's minds when it's riding down the road.
That's the name of the game around here.
Whatever you can do, get that thing right. It's going to be a camping vehicle. I'm going to ride it. This thing ain't going to sit in the garage the rest of its life. It's going to be out there riding around.
I love hearing this. You know, not only get to build a cool truck with cool suspension, it's also going to be on the road and actually being used on a daily basis. What I see on this thing is just taking out the old suspension and just putting brand new 4 links front and rear on this thing, lifting this thing up and just riding with air suspension incorporated. You just want something that when you're driving down the road with that travel trailer behind you, people beside you can just see the moving parts of the suspension.
I want them to be able to see it.
Yes.
Yep.
New wheels and tires on this thing, you know, some nice shocks, you know, big brakes. That's going to be a good looking cruising truck, especially with your trailer behind it.
Maybe even put a little music in it too. I want to, you know, it doesn't have to be crazy loud where, you know, it's waking up the trailer park. I want a little bit of sound coming out of that Suburban. So
you got it, man. We're going to take care of this thing for you.
I want this thing to be beautiful. It might be a second trip, you know, after you get this done. I don't know.
Absolutely. You know, phase 1, no problem at all. We can get this thing on the lift, get it tore apart, and get that new suspension built. At any point, you can bring it back, you know, and then we'll start phase 2 to take it to that next level.
Sounds good.
You know, we love working with our customers, no matter, you know, if it's a one lump sum build or if it's spread out over many different trips. You know, if it goes and comes and goes and comes and goes and comes a few times, it doesn't make any difference to us. We'll be there all the way of building their dream truck.
I'm ready. I mean, I've been wanting to do something like this for a long time, so.
You know, I'm really excited on this thing. This thing's going to be really, really cool, and I can't wait to get going.
You think you're excited?
Man, we'll talk to you real soon.
All right, sounds good, Bill.
All right, bye. You know, these 6th generation Suburbans are really popular and really sought after. It's unique. It's something you don't see every day. You know, this truck's going to be built in phases. no problem. Who knows how many phases this thing's gonna go through, but you know, the first phase is always the most critical. That's when you really get the creativity started. You build upon that creativity and it leads to a bigger, better product. You know, once you put the shoes on, you're like, man, I need some new pants. And then you put the new pants on, you're like, gotta have a new shirt. You know, you gotta make the whole outfit complete. You know, that's what we're gonna do right here, is just customize this thing step by step, piece by piece, till this thing looks 100% and 100% custom. What's happening? Man, it just so happens I'm looking at it right this minute. Ronald was clear from the beginning. There's going to be many times he's going to add to the build. You know, I just thought it would be after we finish the first phase. I mean, we got plenty of room in the back of this thing to do whatever we want to do. So the interior is something we could really focus on a lot to really make it comfortable, you know, for you guys for sure. And to be something to show off. All right, man. Thanks a lot. We'll take care of it for you.
What's up, man? Finally got the Suburban in the shop?
Yeah, man.
Cool. Do a little audio in it. Get this thing in and out.
Well, that was the plan. The little audio. That's not the plan now.
Plans changed.
Yeah, I just got off the phone with the owner, and you know, I guess he slept on it a little bit. He got bit by the bug. He wanted a little upgrade.
Well, we've got a lot of real estate in here to upgrade.
Man, there is. There's a lot of room in here.
Well, sometimes it's easier to just do it all at one shot than having to go back and forth with it. It's like, it's there, just do it.
Right. First thing we're gonna do, new interior. Everything in this thing, we're gonna change. He wanted new audio, but now he wants new seats, headliner, door panels, and even more audio.
Sure we can make something like that work out.
I know you can. The next step, we're taking it over to the fab shop and cutting everything out from underneath this thing. That's gonna look way, way, way better. You know, we're giving it a nice lift with air suspension on it, big 4-length, 40-inch tires, new rims, big brakes. It's gonna have an aggressive look coming down the road. And we want this thing to look just mean.
Okay.
When he opens the doors, I want it to have that same aggressive look too.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Basically, take the same ideas that you have going on underneath it, keep those ideas flowing, and put something in here that just says, I'm here, and get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I got my laundry list of work to do, so let's get to it. All right, I'm gonna start with getting the seats out. You know, the idea behind use it and drive it, not just make a showpiece out of it. We still want to have something that's going to be functional. So keep those things in mind as we go, and we'll start making something cool. One of the things I enjoy about watching a guy get excited when we're building their truck, you know, first when it gets here, they're a little set back, a little reserved, don't want to do too much, take their time, do it in stages. And once it gets here, they get thinking about it, they get all itchy. Next thing you know, here we go. Full builds every time. There's your original color. Seafoam green, I guess is what you would call it. As hard as they try when they do a color change in a car, it never fails. Somewhere you're going to find hints of the color. There it is. For now, I'm going to start with the subwoofer enclosure. That way I know I've got to have that space. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then we'll start making all the panels to make it look good. So what we'll do is we'll take this bottom piece first and just start drawing out around all the pieces until this fits back where we want it to. And we'll start building it up. Nice fit. You know, it's just like a big puzzle, one piece after the next. Make a piece, cut it, fit it, glue it, just work it as you go, especially when you're trying to fit into these really tight spaces like this. It's kind of hard to map out and build on a table, so you're just back and forth building it. Right. So what we're gonna do next is take some body filler, use that as a sealant to make sure that the box is nice and airtight. And then we're going to go back over top of that with some fiberglass chop strand to give it the strength that it needs so we know it's going to stay together and stay sounding good. All right, the box is fitting great. The next step is going to be to build the recessed baffle that's actually going to hold the subwoofer. So what we want to do is we're going to recess them back inside this enclosure about 4 inches. So you won't even hardly see them. They're going to set so far back in here. So to do that, what I'm going to do is a little bit of stack fab. Basically take and just stack up a bunch of layers of MDF until I get it back to where I want it to be. We'll get it attached to this thing, and this box will be just about done. So what I did to get the angles and stuff on the baffle is they just kind of went off of the angle of the back door. The back wall has an angle to it. We got the same angle on the box, so we're just going to kind of follow that angle forward just so everything flows together. There's exactly what we're looking for.
There's a lot of real estate inside this 1971 Suburban, especially when bigger box is in the back. He's going to move on to the door panels.
So what we're doing now is we're just making all the parts and the pieces for the door panel. Since we have 4 doors, all of them are going to be the same. So once we make one, just repeat it, duplicate it, mirror image it on the router. That way we can set them all up and work on them all at one time and get the process done a little bit faster. We got the bottom section where the speaker's going to go. What I want to do is I'm going to take this top line here, instead of it being just flat, I'm going to put a curve to it, and then I can round it over. It just takes the blockiness out of it and just gives it some character and some life instead of just being stuck on the door and flat. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this scoop bit on the router to give the inside opening a profile and the outside edge a profile. Once that's done, then we can take it apart, put it on the machine, and reshape it and give it a whole completely different look. Sometimes in order to make the ideas and designs in my head, I have to make a one-of-one tool. So I went ahead and made my own jig, my own sled here that's going to create an arc in this piece that is going to give it some dimension and depth. It's a little bit extra work, a few extra steps to take, but that little extra touch really, really stands out, puts the craftsmanship into it, and really, really makes something that's one of a kind. All right, so you can see this one, it has shape to it and dimension both in this direction and in this direction. The next thing to do, attach it to its base. This thing's ready to do some body work. I've done similar things to this once or twice before, but every time you do it, it's always something different, which really is what makes it so much fun. That's what I enjoy about it. I like the creative part of it and the problem solving. You can kind of see the whole door panel starting to come together here, all the pieces. We'll have our speaker set down into this pocket here, and then we'll have our armrest up here.
In the custom car game, no matter what the customer's original checklist is, there's always one more thing. Always. Sometimes we get a project in, it just needs that last final touch to make it 100% complete. We always want to accommodate, but that's one of the challenges of owning a custom shop, just making the customer happy. We did a lot of work on this 2006 Kodiak already, and we were about to ship it out. Then the owner called me up. He just wants to do that one more thing.
One last look before it goes home, or what?
Man, it'd be nice if it was going home, but, the world of custom, it's always that one more thing, right?
Huh. What now? Yeah.
This Kodiak rolled in pretty good condition. We built custom air suspension, made a new front bumper, made new running boards, added a new grille, added headlight conversion, new wheels, tires, and painted the whole truck silver.
So what else does he want now?
Well, he wants to put an extra wheel and tire in the back. One that matches the ones that are on the truck, mounted back here in the bed.
Mounted down flat up, or how you want to?
I don't know yet. I'm going to get it in the shop and kind of play with it, see what looks good, what looks cool. So I'm thinking probably mounted 30 degrees or so, mounted up close to the tank, something so if you're looking down on the bed, you can see it, but not something that sticks up over the top of the bed rails.
All right.
That's what he wants. That's what he's getting. We'll get with Max, see if you can get one. I don't even know if you can just get one, huh?
Oh. I'll go get Max figured out.
Yeah. All right. We've done a lot of Kodiaks over the years. The medium duty platform is just great to work with. It's different from every other thing on the road, and that's what the customer wants when they bring these things in. It's just one of one, something that nobody's seen before. We've done a lot of work to this big old Kodiak, a lot. But for a thing, we got to make it happen. Sometimes when a customer comes up with a last-minute idea, they haven't been around for the whole creative process. So incorporating their last minute idea into a project that's already been built, there's a few little challenges comes with that. You just don't want a little spare tire stuck in the back. It looks like a sore thumb just out of the blue. You want something that just all flows together and look like it was all thought about from the very get-go.
Yeah, man. Yep, I can have that to you today. That's not a problem.
You know, Max has been a really great addition to Extensive. He's been running point on sales and parts. And he's got a real knack for finding things that are really hard to get. Like one custom dually wheel for the Kodiak.
Have a good day. All right. Hello, Timmy.
Just the person I need to see.
Uh-oh.
I need a favor.
Well, what kind of favor?
I need another wheel.
For
Kodiak.
You have 6 wheels.
I thought the truck was done. Bill walked out there and did the old pat on the shoulder and told me we had to add some more stuff.
Okay.
The guy wants to be able to travel across country and he wants a full-size spare.
Working in a shop where we do higher caliber builds, parts, everything's usually custom made, so we have to fabricate them here, or we have to source them from the right people to get them on time. So 4 wheels, not a problem. 6 wheels, definitely not a problem. 1 wheel is going to be our problem.
It's not my problem, buddy. That's yours.
Thanks, Timmy.
You know, there's no such thing as a stock 7th wheel mount, so we got to make one. We got to make this 7th wheel mount rigid enough to hold this big, heavy wheel. We got all of our pieces cut. We should have all of our angles right, so we got our spacer that simulates the angle of the wheel. We got our smaller spacer in the back, so we got a little tilt to the wheel. So when you look down into the bed, you'll be able to see that nice displayed wheel. So I'm gonna start putting the pieces together real quick. We'll tack it all up and we'll see if it fits. You always start out with the vision that you have in your head of the basic idea.
Top needs to go back.
You know, once you start building it, you don't want to get dead set in your ways. You want to improve every time you build something. So even if it's something to just building a wheel holder, you always want to think of different ideas. And you know, usually those ideas keep us way behind schedule. Let's put another tack on this. You know, mounting a 7th wheel in this 2006 Kodiak isn't what I call a common request, but that's what makes it fun coming to work in the morning. You know, making the unexpected look like it should have came like that from the beginning. Let's unclamp this thing, see if it fits in. So we got to cut that off so it don't hit the wheel, huh? Just mark with a soapstone, and we'll just weld it up and grind it from there. Looks good, man.
Yeah, come out nice.
I mean, it's got some strong mounting points on it. It looks good. Man, this thing's going to last forever.
Yep,
no doubt. We want that big, heavy wheel on this thing, shaking, going down the road. You know, start fatiguing everything if it wasn't built super strong, and that's what we got. So, looks good. It's clean, strong. So, let's do it. All right. While John and his team are finishing up the interior, we're rolling the 71 Suburban right into a bay so we can get started on that brand new custom air suspension lift.
So we finally got this old Suburban inside the shop. We're gonna take it, break it down. We're gonna take everything off of it that's on there. Take all the suspension out from under it, shocks out, axles out. We're gonna get it up as high as we can, make it look really aggressive, have some fun. So the advantage for working on an older vehicle is that they're a lot more simple. The disadvantage is everything's froze up and a lot harder to get off and loose. If you've got the right tools, some rusty parts won't stop you. Finally got the front off, completely disconnected, all the hardware and everything disassembled. Time to move on to the back. drive shaft's reusable, so it can actually be shortened or lengthened. Because it's welded, we're going to keep this slip yoke for this transmission and truck.
Let's put it on here first.
All right.
Now we can take it out there and pick it up, put it on that.
Sweet. Thank you, sir. All right, so we finally got everything off the truck. Front axle, rear axle, all the suspension parts. We can bring in all the new stuff, and we can get this thing up in the air where we want it.
We tore out all the old suspension and cleaned up the stock front and rear axles. So now Jamie and I can start mocking up the air suspension. Whoa, that's probably pretty good, huh?
Uh-huh.
What we're going to do with this thing is an air suspension lift. Okay. It has some nice airbags on this thing, nice shot, big 4-lane.
Oh, yeah.
So first things first, let's get the rear end located with the air deflated. Okay. And once that's located, we'll weld a pipe down to the axle so it can't go anywhere. Okay. Drop it down a little bit. You know, this thing's gonna have a big 40-inch tire, but he's also wanting to tow his camper with this thing too. So we can't just go crazy and just make it way off the ground. We want this thing to have a low stance and also be able to air this thing up and get it way off the ground and just be really aggressive. Get it bolted up real quick and point it at it. You know, try to get it 0 degrees here. Pretty close.
These old Suburbans are unique. You don't see a lot of them on the road anymore. Everybody wants a short wheelbase, you know, fleet side, but not too many people build these Suburbans. That in itself's pretty cool. I mean, think about during the flood, how many people would have loved to have one of these and put all your stuff in it and not get nothing wet. I mean, it's got multiple uses for something like this. I'm actually looking forward to building it.
Scoot it back a little bit. Let's see what you got from center to here.
20 and a quarter?
That's on the money, 20 and a quarter. So we got everything 100% level, 100% true, square. The rear end is located exactly where this thing needs to be. So now we can start building our 4-link from the axle all the way up to the frame. Man, we can run a string line.
I think I can shoot one straight all the way back, right underneath the axle.
Let's just drop this thing down. Then we can hold a string line here to the center of the axle and get it parallel with the frame. Then we can measure it right down here to the center of the string. So we know center to here where our measurement's at. Can we hold this real quick? Go down, Tim. A lot more of the front axle is to get it perfectly level with the back. So when you let all the air out of the suspension, this truck still sits level, even though there's, you know, no air in it. And then you air it up from there. Then you got a perfectly level truck as it's going down the road.
Like a kickstart Harley over here.
Looks good, huh?
Yeah, everything. Both axles are right where they need to be.
Man, perfectly centered, perfectly level, and at the perfect height with everything all bottomed out. We can get busy building.
Let's do it, man. I'm ready.
We've lined up the front and rear axles on this 1971 Suburban for our custom lift. And now we can get to building it. You know, one of the major pieces of a custom lift like this is the hanger. The hanger needs to be super strong, and it serves many purposes of locating where the pivot points are in the suspension so everything articulates and flows together, rides right, doesn't bind the drive shaft up. There's a lot of importance in locating the hanger in the right place, and the distance in between the two pivot points, you know, that reacts, you know, driving on the road 90 miles an hour versus off-road. You know, there's a lot of little intricacies in building a hanger like this, and you know, you gotta add some style to it too and make it cool. You know, the next step is just go in and burn the hanger pieces out. What up, buddy?
What's up, man?
Here we go, man. So I need to build these hangers. So make these at 1/4 inch so they're super strong, and we'll box it all in.
I got it. So I took this, drew my box, got my measurements. Now it's time for the computer to do its thing. clean up these rough edges, punch these holes out, and take it over to Bill.
Okay, so I got the base of the hanger Jesse just brought back over. So I'm gonna go ahead and mock everything up. So I can go ahead and put my plates to box everything in to give it the strength. It's real early in life my grandfather had given me. Then I went to taking stuff apart, like everything. I remember my mom bought me an RC car. For the world of me, I thought, I'll just put a vacuum cleaner motor on it and it'll work. That never went back together, the vacuum or the car. So from basically being young to taking things apart to being older now to taking bigger things apart, some things just don't change. All right, so now that I got these two pieces on the side right here, I'm gonna go ahead and weld all on the inside right here. So that way to be as strong as possible, I have a weld on the inside and a weld on the outside. Okay, so basically right now I made some gussets right here. This is pretty much the last piece to be able to mount this on where it's solid. All right, so got all these welded up, all the gussets done. So this is ready to go up underneath the truck and we'll just keep going.
We got our hangers made. You know, the next step on getting this bad boy all the way up and down is building the 4-link from the hangers all the way back to the rear end. We're making our 4-link bars, so we want everything 100% true, square, both sides. So what we're gonna do is make a little parts to be exactly the same length. So when we mock up one side, we're gonna use the bars to mock up the other side. So our bracketry, everything is 100% true and identical. Okay, so I got the link bars welded up, everything's cleaned off of them. Now it's time to go ahead and bolt them up, get them on the truck. We got our bars 100% true with each other off our jig. By using the 4-link bar, that tells us exactly where our mounts are. So everything else is 100% square. So that lines all the bars, all the brackets, everything up 100%. Now all we got to do is tack it on and keep rolling. See, I got both the upper and lower link bars on. Everything looks parallel. Everything's bolted up. Like the way it looks. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the rear now. The 7th wheel hitch is back from powder coat on the 2006 Kodiak. We're just missing the 7th wheel and tire. And then this extra large build will be ready to go home. Hey Val, one wheel, one tire, mounted balance, ready to go.
How'd you do that?
Very carefully. Yeah, called in a few favors, but we got what we needed, so.
All right.
Heads up, it's heavy.
All right.
Going from point A to point B is not always a straight line. You know, there's always obstacles, and, you know, we just have to find the part, because when they come in and say, hey, Max, I need the part, that's what I do. I find the part. Seems how much bigger than you are.
It's almost as big as me.
Always loved Kodiaks. It goes all the way back to 2006 when I had my own. You know, I love driving that thing. I love just the girth of the truck and just being different from everyone else. So when this truck showed up, showing its age, I knew exactly what to do to make this thing 100% right. What's up, Vinny?
What's up, Bill?
How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. Beautiful day to get a Kodiak back, huh?
Yes, sir. I've been waiting. I can't wait.
I know, man. I'm really excited. Man, you came in, this thing, it was hurt.
Yeah, it needed help. It's an iconic truck, but it needed a facelift. That's why we brought it to you. Purchased the Kodiak about 6 years ago. We tried to do a little stuff ourselves to get it to ride better and look a little help. I ran into a guy at a show in Arizona who told me to take it to Texas. That's why I said, take it to Texas. And we hauled us out here.
That big truck just commands attention when it drives up. Maybe a little unwanted attention in some areas.
Attention in the wrong spots. Put it that way, yes, sir.
Man, we addressed all those things. We got this thing looking good, riding good.
I just can't wait. Let's do it.
Man, I'm ready too, man. Jamie, come on with it.
don't look old anymore.
No.
Oh my gosh. Woo! It looks like a totally different truck. I don't even know where to start.
Hey, I told you we got you, man.
I know. Hey, I believe you, but now I really believe you. That's crazy. Oh my God, yes! That's what I'm talking about. Woohoo! That's so cool. Oh man, it's over the top.
What you think?
I like it.
What up, man?
Yeah, it's awesome. I don't know what to say. Takes my breath away. It's awesome.
Benny, you see this thing pull up, it commands attention.
Yes, sir.
Right? From the new headlights, stretch bumper, new grille, running boards on this thing, fresh coat of paint all the way through it.
All metals are sick.
Drop low to the ground.
Yeah.
Totally changes the whole stance.
I don't even know enough words to say how excited I am. It's sick.
Man, I appreciate that. I think so too, man. I mean, it's something we're definitely proud of.
Oh, yeah.
It looks cool, man.
Yeah,
it's a cool
it's cool.
truck.
Absolutely.
I got one more surprise for you.
Oh, okay.
Check it out.
All right. Oh, man, Bill. That's awesome.
I know you wanted something back here to show off your other wheel, and you never know, you might have a flat, right?
1,200-mile drive. I want to make sure I'm safe. Don't want to take no chances.
That's it, man.
So this is the first 7th wheel I've seen. Man, Bill had a great idea how to recess it in the hitch. Go ahead and tie it in the toolbox, make it kind of look like it's floating. Man, it came out awesome.
Good job. You guys killed it. Nice.
Appreciate it, man. I love when we get these trucks in the shop, bringing them back to life, making an older truck look brand new. Doesn't get better than that. The 4-link is done on the 1971 Suburban's custom lift. So now we can get to building the bag mounts, the point off of which the airbags will attach. Turn it all the way one way and then back to where you're at, and then all the way the other way and back to where you're at. One last thing we got to do before we build the lower bag mounts is our steering. So we need to build our steering cross-link and have all that, the steering and the lower bag mount, and plenty of room for the bag itself. So last thing we want to do is build this thing again.
Okay, so we got the steering, everything's hooked up, everything looks pretty good, everything moves freely. So it looks like we have enough space for the bag bracket right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and start making these right now. All right, so my process of doing a bunch of bag mounts, basically my first thing is I'm gonna get all my material cut to length I'm gonna need, and I always cut a little over because you're gonna trim back and cope everything. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking off a little bit by little bit until it fits, and to make sure that the bends are all in the same place, they're all coped on the axle the same height, and everything's even underneath the back plate. It's a lot of cutting, grinding, coping, but once it's in, it's in.
Man, Jamie, it looks really, really good. We got a nice foundation. Now we can really get down to business and really start letting the creativity and the fabrication all come together and make something really cool. The owner of the Suburban wants to be able to haul a trailer with the lower bag mounted to the frame to hold all that trailer weight. I just made a quick little template from the other side, my center punch holes, so we can duplicate this side so everything's 100% same. Once we had the center punches on both sides, we can drill our holes and then bolt our upper bag mount mounts right to the frame, and then build our bag mounts right down to the back. Jamie's rolling some pipe, then we're gonna chop it up and then get it fitting.
Okay, so you can see, basically I'm running these pipes in at the same time. Each one I do the same way, so I have the same bend right in here. If I was just to hit the button down, it would be all kinked, and if I just did one, then did the other one, it wouldn't be any good. So this is just the way to do it properly, is go ahead and just do each one. Every time I drop the machine down, I'll run another piece of suit to make a nice circle on them. So you just gotta do it over and over again. Patience, slow and steady wins the race. All right, so basically I'm trying to make a perfect circle so I can cut this and use each side for each one of these to be the same radius to the bag mount. So when you do look at it, it's gonna be perfectly the same. It's really important, for it to look right, because otherwise it's really gonna draw your eye if it doesn't flow with everything else. Not only does it need to look right truck, because all the air is on this bag, so this is gonna be basically holding up this axle. So the structure is gonna be there, the flow, it's gonna look like it was made like this. So people that know about custom cars, welders, fabricators are definitely going to notice how much fabrication time went into something like this, putting this together. It's something I really look for and appreciate when I see it in other builds.
The cool thing about this, you can get lifts done anywhere, but none of them look like this. I mean, this is our cool little signature stamp on this thing is, not only riding good, handling good, but to have the styling of the bent pipe. That's one thing that sets this thing apart from all the others on the road.
Hey, what's up, buddy? It's Max over at Extensive. One of the toughest things about this job is managing all the builds going on at the same time. I'm in kind of a bind and I need some help. If you're not highly organized, it'll pile up on you and you will crash and burn. My love for cars came at a young age. When I was young, I got magazines that had all the custom cars in them, and I just thought that was the coolest thing that they always cut them up and change stuff, and I was always about that. I've been in the automotive industry for probably, and then got into the custom car game, and I got the opportunity to come down here. So picked up the family, moved to Texas, and the rest has just been great. Yeah, man, I really appreciate it, man. You're helping me out a ton. What I like about working at Extensive is the camaraderie of everybody that works here. We're all here to build cool stuff. We're all on the same agenda, and the energy here is really, really cool. It's a fast-paced shop, but I'm a fast-paced kind of guy, so we mesh really well.
Now that the custom lift's back from powder coat and installed on the 71 Suburban, John can take all the handmade pieces and start wrapping.
Looking at this door panel, everything's working out really good. They got it nice and deep inside the pocket. I got one more little trouble spot to work out. We'll be home free. All right. Looks like luck might be on our side today. Next thing we gotta do, finish wrapping that around. Then we'll go over everything, hit it with some heat, get it warmed up. This thing's gonna look beautiful. Put a little bit of vinyl down in the bottom of that hole, and then put it on.
With over 10 feet of cabin space, John and his team have a lot of wrapping and installing to do. It's just like Christmas. Headliner, seats, new audio. Well, at least for now. I know when Ronald sees this truck, he's going to be blown away. I mean, it's just such a huge transformation. What's happening, Ron?
What's going on, Bill?
Long trip, huh?
It was a long trip, man, all the way in from Maryland.
Man, it's good to have you down. It's good to, I guess, to finally meet you in person.
I'm glad to be here, man. I'm excited to see this truck. Flew out here to Extensive today, and I've really been anxious to see this truck, and all my friends know I'm driving everybody crazy. So I'm really excited to get in this thing and just drive it as much as possible.
Ron, I know, bought the truck on the internet, right?
Yeah, I did.
It wasn't really quite what you wanted, right?
Not at all. Not at all.
So that's why we're here.
That's right, man. It needs some loving.
You wanted something that rode really nice and looked cool when you're pulling your travel trailer.
I wanted it better than it was.
It's more than a little better.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Way more than a little better.
I'm sure it is. I can't stand it right now, man. I'm ready.
Let's check it out.
Let's bring her out. Yes, sir. Look at this.
What you think, man? Mean coming at you, doesn't it?
Mean ain't the word for it. Look at this thing. This is beautiful. Yeah. Woo. Nice. She is sitting on those tires, man. That is insane. Oh my God.
She looks a little different, doesn't she?
She looks a whole lot different. I am slammed. This is everything that I imagined. I mean, this is just phenomenal, man.
You haven't seen another three-door looking like this?
Never, no. You can go online and never find one like this.
That's right.
This is it.
I'd cruise that one for sure.
Definitely.
That's a highway runner.
Oh, I can't wait, man. We're going to use it. It's not going to sit in the parking lot somewhere. This is going to be on the road, and it's going to be going.
Where it needs to be.
And everybody's going to be looking. It's going to be turning heads, man.
The first thing you see of the wheels and tires and that big suspension underneath of it. Got to work building you a cool custom 4 links front and rear.
The size of all that tubing, I mean, it's incredible. The strength you put underneath there. I see it. I mean, you can't miss it. It's beautiful. I love the wheels. Perfect choice, man.
Yeah, man, that thing looks really, really good. I mean, it's something we're definitely proud
Oh
of
yeah,
for
the
sure.
stance, the size. You know, when you see it coming at you, it says, "Get out the way." You know,
That's right. Yeah, man, the stance on it is killer. It's mean.
That's what you want, right?
Yeah, man, it's everything I wanted. I love it.
pretty okay.
That's pretty okay.
John, let's let him check out the inside.
All right, let's check this out.
Oh, look at this, man. Oh, God, you killed it.
You know, John and the boys always kill it on interiors. Always.
I know that's right, man.
Yeah, so we just went through everything, you know, from top to bottom. New carpet, redid the seats.
That's right.
Redid the door panels. Got all that brown in there. We pulled the pleats into the doors to match the seats. We went ahead and did the headliner, put some lights up in there so you got some mood lighting when you're cruising down the road.
There you go.
New radio in the dash, new system all the way around, the subwoofer enclosure in the back. Everybody will hear you coming too, so.
I don't see me coming before they hear me.
That's questionable.
Yeah. Oh man, you guys blew it out of the water. This is phenomenal, man. I mean, it's going to go a step further because it's coming back to you, and you're going to do some more work to it. But for right now, this is headed in the right direction.
Ron, getting projects like this in, it just really, it wakes everybody up, you know, just reignites everybody's fire, gets that passion going again, and just the creativity just really starts flowing, obviously.
Yeah. You know, this is my first project car, and I'm hooked, man. I mean, hook, line, and sinker. It's contagious, but I mean, I want to see this thing go as far as I can take it.
Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, however you want to do it.
I'm stoked.
I know you can say Phase 1 was a complete success. All right, Ronald, enjoy this truck. I'm sure I'll be seeing you real soon for Phase 2, so come on with it.